Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Aaron. I want to talk about how how easy it is to get really self-absorbed with identities and self-identities, and I'm coming to you right now after a couple days, actually a few weeks of going really downhill with my health, and last night having about 2 hours of really bad sleep, just pain throughout my entire body. So I'm coming to you feeling just absolutely exhausted. Just beyond mentally and physically. It's tough. And these last 5 years, one of the things they've shown me is how wrapped up everyone is. I don't care how, quote, spiritual you think you are, how wrapped up we are in our identities. Like, I used to feel like, even if it's like a spiritual quest, like, my identity is someone who's very intelligent. My identity is someone who is, can have very spiritual conversations, or my spiritual insights, or my lack of self-talk. And that was a lot of mine. It was like my spiritual growth and all the work I'd done on myself had become a part of my identity, which is kind of ironic, but I think very common. The irony is that right now, the thought of spiritual growth is so far from my consciousness, it doesn't even exist. I'm just focused on, or actually just being batted around, trying to survive the day and trying to get through the day and trying to do anything barely productive, anything, before I head to another night of horrible torture. So even like having the thought of like, I'm going to work on myself today, that's an identity, because you know what? It takes a lot of energy to work on yourself. It takes a lot of physical health to decide you're going to do some introspective work of any sense, even if it's reading a book, or it's thinking about, it's going back on your day and observing your behaviors and analyzing them, however you want to look at it. The identities are so deep, even the identity of I work on myself so much that I don't have an identity, that I'm, like, even having that thought requires such tremendous health which can be taken away from you, which eventually you're going to die. So eventually you won't have that desire to do introspective work. And it's not even you won't have the desire. I have the desire, but I don't have the energy. And that's not my decision anymore. It's just really fascinating how it gets so deep with, like, there's the basic stuff of, okay, I used to have money, now I don't. I used to be independent, now I need to ask for help. I used to be energetic, now I'm not. Like, for me, very much like I used to have a whole bunch of vitality and energy and positivity and love and compassion and presence when I would talk to people, and humor and laughter and creativity and inspiration and blah blah blah. Like, the list goes on. I used to have all these things that I would associate with me. And while I was working on myself a lot spiritually, while I was meditating often an hour a day and doing just like, a lot of yoga and a lot of introspection, it's like all that's gone. Like, literally all that's gone. I don't feel connected to any of that right now. I feel like my energy is so low and my exhaustion is so high that I'm just trying to, like, survive. I'm just trying to, like, not break down in the middle of the day. And this has been going on for definitely for months, and then slowly for years to get to this point. And my thoughts are not what they used to be, right? And you may be going through this too. Like, your thoughts may be of a completely different kind. Like, now my thoughts are like, am I going to be okay? How am I going to do this? What's my next step? How am I going to survive tonight? What supplement or what can I try differently? Thoughts of, I don't feel like I have any purpose or direction in life. I don't feel like I'm contributing. Oh shit, like, my life is being wasted. I'm 31 and I'm in this horrible life situation. And, it's like my thoughts are totally, I guess you could say more negative, if you want to be judgmental, or if I want to be judgmental of them. And whereas prior, my thoughts were all about literally the polar opposite, just about contributing and purpose and love and meaning and compassion and helping others and growing myself and spiritual growth and physical growth and yoga and connection with the body and the earth. And now it just feels like I don't, you just don't have the energy. I literally don't have the energy in my body to even think about those things anymore. And anyway, these are just some thoughts, just sharing kind of what I'm going through, and really how your entire life can be flipped upside down. And I think a lot about this. I think a lot about, what are the things that cannot be changed? Like what's I guess the question is, what is real? Because if it's anything to do with how I feel or think about myself, none of that is real. And by real, I mean things that can't be changed, things that can't be taken away from you. And the longer I go through this, and the deeper and the sicker I get, it's like nothing that I thought was me is remaining, and everything seems to be completely falling away. Even my intelligence and my ability to, have conversations with people. It's like, it's just fascinating how, it's just really interesting how, I got distracted by another thought. So the question is, what is real? Because for most of us, at the end of our life, we're going to come to a place where we die, and often that starts with health issues. So then a lot of those identities are going to start to be stripped away of independence and mobility and as simple as being able to walk. So that's starting to strip away these things. And my life has brought me to the point at 31 where I feel so much has been stripped away. I mean, like, yes, I can still walk, but there's always something you can do, right? It's like, even my dad, who just recently passed away of ALS, like, he still had his mind. He still had his thoughts, right? So, but all of his bodily functions were stripped away within about a year. So, anyway, guys, I'll end the video there. I just wanted to share some of these things that I've been feeling and thinking about, and still trying to contribute, still trying to feel like my life has a deeper purpose and meaning. Because when my life becomes all about how am I going to survive today, and how am I going to not, how am I going to stay sane, and what am I doing for therapies and treatments, and none of it's working. And when my life, and it has become that, when my life becomes all about my own survival, it really kind of feels very kind of like a pointless, doesn't have any meaning. It's just about me trying to wake up the next day a little bit, functional. It's like, at the end of the day, it's not a life that you really want to live. And no, this is not me saying that I'm going to do harmful things to myself. Not at all. It's just me sharing how I'm feeling. And if you've been through this journey, I'm sure you've felt all these things at least one point in your life. So, all right, guys, that's it. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.